Well, here we have another model steam engine, which is a bit of an enigma. It's very clearly an Empire engine, and it has a nameplate, which in fact tells us that it's a Empire engine manufactured by the Metalware Corporation. But in the catalogue number box, it says 62. Well, as far as I know, this is very definitely not a 62. An Empire Model 62, in fact, looks like this, as I happen to have one. Let's take that off of there for a minute and put the 62 on. And in fact, if you Google Empire Model number 62, you'll pretty much definitely get pictures of this. And this has got 62 stamped on the base. Not sure whether you can see it. Probably not see it, but it is. It's actually right there. Empire 62. So yeah, so that's what a 62, as far as I know, should look like. So that leaves us with a bit of a mystery. So what is this engine? Well, obviously it's missing quite a bit. There's no flywheel, crankshaft, piston, conrod. There should be a banjo, which this pipe screws into here, and then there would be, I would think, normally a regulator, a valve holding that into the boiler. And obviously we're missing the sight glass, and this is broken, the bottom sight glass mount. But the closest Empire model engine that resembles this is the B43, which is quite a rare oscillating cylinder engine. It is a double acting oscillating cylinder, which is obviously what this is, going by the engine, the cylinder mount here. So that's what I think it is. I think it's a B43, but I've reached out to various other collectors who are far more knowledgeable on this subject than I am. So hopefully we can get this little mystery cleared up. I haven't checked the element yet, so I don't know whether it's in working condition. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to manufacture or source the missing parts, and we should be able to get this one running, whatever it happens to be. Okay, well here we are back with the this rather strange engine, which I was rather confused about at the time. However, it is a mystery no longer. Since I acquired this engine, I've been lucky enough to get hold of a copy of the Bible for Empire model steam engines, and that's the book by Don Stilson. And those few people out there out in the world that actually are lucky enough to have a copy of it all know what I'm talking about. But basically, it's a documented history of the Metalware Corporation and the model steam engines that it produced, and it's completely full of illustrations, and it's an amazing book. However, there is a whole page dedicated in his book to the Model 62, and it turns out that there were various different versions. So whilst the short boiler version is the more common one, there were several long boiler versions of the 62, of which this is one of them. There was something like 3 or 4 different versions, because there was a version of this which had straps holding the boiler on. There was a version that had a reversing lever. So yeah, it was a model which had many variants. Well, here's the Empire model number 62 long boiler. There's been a considerable amount of work I've done to this to get this into hopefully a running condition. But first I want to say a big shout out and thanks to my friend Stewart Owens in America, who sent me this flywheel and the shaft. He sent me 2, in fact, and this one was the right size. It's a 3/16 of an inch diameter shaft. I don't have the facility to cast flywheel, so yes, I could have made a solid brass flywheel, but it would have, you know, not looked anything like the original. And I don't know what this is off of. I think he said he scrapped a B30 or a B31, but anyway, it's perfect for this. So thank you, Stuart, I appreciate that. So what have we done? Well, we've had to make the cylinder. Now I make no attempt to make this cylinder look like the original, because the original was a machined casting, so I couldn't possibly do that. But this is a piece of 1/2 inch by 1 inch brass plate, which we've made the cylinder out of. This is my first double acting cylinder and piston and conrod that I've made. Obviously I had to make the conrod as well in the end, and this was a first for me, but yeah, it turned out all right. That seems to be fine, you know. Once I had the flywheel from Stewart, I was able to work out that the stroke was 3/4 of an inch. I decided on a 5/16 of an inch bore for the cylinder. I'm not sure whether this is original, because I don't want to take the short boiler Empire 62's cylinder apart, so I'm not sure whether that's correct, but that gave me the distance and all the rest of the measurements, so I was able to work out that from that I needed a 1/4 of an inch long piston, which is what's in there. Yeah, so basically it's 5/16 bore, 3/4 of an inch stroke. What else have we done? Yeah, right, well, there was I didn't have any sight glass fixings or anything, so I've made up some blanks, temporary measure. This will just seal the boiler off. Oh yes, it was missing the banjo union here. I had to make that up out of aluminium, and also the whole regulator was missing. I got some red PVC plastic bar off of eBay and managed to machine up what I hope is a reasonable copy of the original knob on the top. And that's about it. It's still missing the whistle top, but so many of these Empire engines, the whistle top just pulls off, so that's probably why they get lost. But yeah, it's looking okay. I decided not to repaint the base. I might do at some point in the future, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I think it's ready to go. The element measures out okay using the multimeter, so hopefully that should be fine. So let's get it steamed. Right, well, I think we've got enough steam up. So I'll crank open regulator and... Yes, there we go, look at that. Yeah, Empire Model 62, long boiler version, under steam for the very first time, with all its new parts. And most importantly, Stewart Owens flywheel. Cheers, Stewart. Thanks very much, mate. Couldn't have done it without you. Oh, I'm well pleased with that. There's a lot of work went into that, and I'm also pleased that the regulator seems to work quite well. Yes, I'm well pleased with that. Need a whistle cap for it now to finish it off, really. But no, I'm pleased that it's running, that the cylinder and piston and conrod and everything that I made works. Because you never know until you actually get steam on the thing. Oh, I'm so pleased about that. Brilliant. Well, there you go. A resurrected long boiler Empire Model 62. Quite a rare model in the Empire range. I'm well pleased to have one that actually works. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video on the Empire 62. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers!